Hello po. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Magandang hapon po. Ito po ang inyong lingkod si Philcor Ellen. Live po tayo ngayon. Ito po ang inyong sandali lang po. Okay. Ito lang ang channel na walang kinikilingan, walang pinapanigan, pawang katotohanan lamang ang pagbulay-bulayan natin dito sa channel na ito, mga kapatid ko. Now, pag-unahan natin pag sa bulay-bulay itong isang Japanese human rights Japanese journalist ba ito siya or ano, na isa ding human rights advocate. Nagsasalita siya doon sa UN patungkol nitong illegal na paghatid dito ni Pangulong Duterte sa ICC, mga kapatid ko. Why do we call this illegal? Kasi kinidnap lang nila si Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte noong March 10. Kinidnap nila at pinahatid nila sa dahig through the group report of the Secretary of the administration, and also with the cooperation of General Tory, and former soldier Antonio Trillanes. Okay? So yan ang pagtingnan natin ngayon, because these Japanese will not stop if they will not send back Duterte to the Philippines, mga kapatid ko. So maganda ito, pasok na po kayo, pasok, maghintay lang tayo ng 5 tao para magsalita, magsimula na tayo. Ma'am Alma, maulawan na hapon, Ma'am Ilin. Oo nga, maulawan na hapon. Tingnan natin kung di ba sila maulaw dito, hindi ba sila mahiya dito, na diretsuhan ang pagsasalita ng isang human advocates na Japanese na member sa na nagsasalita doon sa UN conference. Nakakahiya kasi ang Japanese human advocates ang nagsasalita, nag-request ng tulong para maiuwi si Pangulong Duterte sa Pilipinas. Samantalang ang UN Secretary natin na si Bibs Romualdez ay walang ginagawa para matulungan man lang ang former President Duterte. Makakahiya. No wonder, because si Romualdez at si Marcos ang pinsan nila ang may kagagawan nito, alangan naman ang kapatid ni Romualdez na si Bibs ang gumawa ng kilos. Hindi maganda din yan. Di ba, mga kapatid ko? So, ngayon, parang maraming bansa ang gustong tutulong kay Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Sa tingin ko ngayon, nahirapan na ang ICC, hurado ng ICC, judges ng ICC, kung paano nila desisyonan itong kaso ni Pangulong Duterte na binigyan siya ng 60 days. Okay, tingnan natin while we are waiting, daming taong nagtrabaho para mabigyan ng kalayaan si Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Sobrang mapahiya ang administrasyon dito. Kasi siya mismo ay kasali, even involved in corruption just to pay the judges, if ever that is true, just to bribe them of the money of the Filipino people. Since Trillanes receive corrupt money from this administration, we can conclude, because Antonio Trillanes, the former soldiers of the Philippines, it was the handler of this ICC people, personnel. Yan ang nakikita natin. Okay? Dito pa rin si Ma'am Alma. Ulaw kaayo ma'am, oy, grabe nilang deny nga dili sila connected sa ICC pero karon nigawas na ang tinuod. Yan ang katotohanan. So wala na silang lusot dito. Kaya kung mag-impeach pa ang mga taga-Congress dito kay Inday Sara, mga lutang silang lahat diyan sa Kongreso. Yun ang matatawag ko sa kanila. Bakit? Alam na nila na walang magandang patunguhan ng bansang Pilipinas pag palagi nilang suportahan itong nakaupo dyan. Kasi maliban sa lutang bangagers, he is victim of the use of substance which can damage the brain of a certain individual. That's why we don't trust him anymore. Okay? So, sana naman ay bigyan pansin yan, mga kapatid ko. So, pasok na po kayo, pasok para makapagsimula na tayo. Hindi pa tayo nakaabot ng 5 taong pumasok po. Maaga akong nagsimula, alas 4:40 na. Kasi Friday ngayon, nakauwi ako ng maaga. Kahapon, isang live lang tayo. Kaya, kailangan makabawi tayo ng kahit 2 man lang po. Okay? So, pasok na mga kapatid ko para makapagsimula na tayo. Mag-reaction video tayo dito kay Dr. Lorraine Badoy through the channel of Reaction TV PH. Okay? So, tingnan natin kung ano ang ipagsasalita dito, mga kapatid ko. Okay? Ito na po. 3. Mayroon 2. Mag-5 na tayo. Sige.
61st United Nations Human Rights Council sa Geneva. Isa siyang Hapon, no? Na naging kaibigan ko na rin, nakilala ko siya.
Human Rights Council. Okay.
Kisan, at nagsalita siya tungkol sa extraordinary rendition ni Philippine President Rodrigo Roa Duterte at ipinaglaban niya ang karapatan ni PRRD.
Diba?
Mahalagang-mahalaga ito, and we're very grateful that he has given us some time so that we can interview him. Si Fujiki-san ay isang human rights advocate at isang researcher ng Asian history at isang journalist.
Yeah.
So,
yan.
Makinig ka, bangag ha, makinig ka. Makinig ka dito sa hapon na ito, nakakahiya ka talaga,
Arigato
nakakahiya kayo.
gozaimasu.
Dahil hindi nyo kaya si Pangulong Duterte na panagutin dito, at hindi nyo kaya ang Pangulong Duterte, hindi mo kaya ang utak ng Pangulong Duterte.
Yan ang katotohanan dyan. Dahil hindi kaya sa administrasyon na ito ang strategy at techniques ni Pangulong Duterte, wala silang ibang ginigawa. Kinidnap nila at pinahatid nila sa dahig, Netherlands. Okay? So dito si Ma'am Alma, dili na nila matandog si BP Sara ng hulga na si Luestro nga ipakulong ang mga taga-bangko kung dili ihatag ang bank record ni BP Sara. Ipakulong niya ang taga-bangko kung dili maghatag, may privacy note na hindi nga siya nakulong at tinago niya ang kriminal niyang asawa, bastos ni Luestro ay. Tuloy.
Ginawa mo, ginamit mo ang kapangyarihan mo para maitapon ng isang dating Pangulo sa ibang bansa. Anong legacy meron ka, Bongbong Marcos? Nakakahiya ka bilang Pilipino, kinakahiya ka namin. Resign now. Bongbong. Marcos magnanakaw. Marcos magnanakaw. Marcos magnanakaw. Mga putang ina kayong magnanakaw.
without further ado, Fujiki-san, maybe you would like to greet first our viewers, no?
Thank you very much for having me to your program.
Yeah.
And I'm very much grateful that so many warm messages were written to my speech or my intervention at the United Nations. So I appreciate to everybody who support my activities.
Yes, Fujiki-san, it has gone crazy viral.
Ito lang ang mararamdaman ko, mga karyasyon, na hayaan po ninyo kung magsalita ngayon. Mga ilang segundo lang. Hindi po titigil itong si Fujiki-san, lalong-lalo na po na-appreciate po niya ang ating pagsuporta sa kanya. Fujiki-san, arigato gozaimasu. Hike. Karati mo leg nila.
Or,
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
yeah, yeah, I know. You didn't expect it, no? It's
Right.
because, well, it's because you did something very important for the Filipino people. We've been this grave injustice towards a highly beloved president, no?
Agreed.
It no longer is a domestic issue. It is an international issue because it involves now
Indeed.
the International Criminal Court, and of course because it is a crime against humanity what was done against him by the sitting president Bongbong Marcos.
Yan.
He
Correct.
weaponized the ICC against a highly beloved president and for political and nefarious reasons. So, Fujiki-san, if you
Yep.
don't mind, how did you find out about this issue?
Oh, very good question. First of all, even after their term, Duterte administration, he has a great influence over the whole nation
Yan.
compared to the current administration,
Tama.
right?
Very good.
So,
Yeah.
current administration is very much fear about, influence of the Duterte, although Marcos is the president, but still the people are not thinking that he's a legitimate president, although he was elected.
Yeah.
So this is one of the reasons that Marcos is trying to do something against Duterte. And now Duterte is really facing a hard time. But I think he is aware of it, and he know from the beginning what will be happen. But he put his life on the line for the country. So
Nako, narinig po ninyo yun kung gaano po marubdob ang pagtingin kay Duterte ng mga Hapon? Narinig po ninyo yun mga kareaksyon? Narinig ninyo yun kahit daw nanalo si Bongbong Marcos? Parang bagang mga kareaksyon natatouch po ko sa sinasabi ng Hapon na ito. Alam na alam po niya mga kareaksyon si Duterte at alam na alam po niya mga kareaksyon kung anong nararamdaman natin. Kaya dito mga kareaksyon, pasalamatan po natin ng Hapon na ito. Sabay-sabay po tayo magharigato sa message sa kanya. 1, 2, 3, harigato sa
Arigato
Fujikisan.
gozaimasu.
O, diba?
he's a real man.
Sa real man.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
happened.
correct.
Even after their term, Duterte administration,
O, diba?
he has a great influence over the whole nation
O.
Yan. That's correct.
compared to the current administration,
Cannot be denied.
right? So
Yes,
current
correct.
administration is very much fear about influence of the Duterte,
No.
although
Yan.
Marcos is the president, but still the people are not thinking that he's a legitimate president, although he was elected.
Yeah.
So this is
That's
one of the
correct.
reasons that Marcos is trying to do something against Duterte. And now Duterte is really facing a hard time. But I think he is aware of it, and he know from the beginning what will be happen. But he put his life on the line for the country. So he's a real man.
Yes,
That's why
yes,
it's
correct,
my
correct.
take. Yeah.
Fujiki-san, his war on drugs, which is the point of contention, the issue that was being
Right.
raised by
Right.
Bongbong Marcos is actually a legitimate government program that was highly popular, highly successful, so that somewhere like 88 to 96% of Filipinos approved of
Wow.
it because
Yeah, yeah.
we really experienced the benefits in our life. For the first time, crime rates were cut into half for the first 6 months.
Yeah. That's great. And I'm taking care of the Filipino community in Japan.
Wow.
Right?
Thank you
And
po.
recently, they start saying that we don't want to go back to my home country.
Wow.
So I asked them why. Then because while the Duterte was in power, the environment in the country was very safe. Even in the nighttime, working on the street is harmful. But now it's very dangerous, and murder and killings are going on the street. Although some Japanese are also victimized.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Oh, yan, sir.
yeah, so
That's correct.
this is a very shameful things for the Philippines, and also Philippines is recently considered as a terrorist supporting nation
Yes.
by Australia. This is totally wrong, and this is prayed by the current administration. If Mr. Duterte is in power, then it won't happen. So everybody is scared, and Marcos is scared of Duterte, and the people are scared of going back home. So this is not a normal situation. This is a very, very, very bad circumstance. So we need to, make it back or take the peace back in the country.
Ako, takot daw po ang mga tao, takot daw po ang mga tao ngayon na lumabas ng kanilang mga bahay dahil sa nangyayari. Pero ito daw si Bongbong Marcos, takot kay Duterte. Mamantagit po niyo. Narinig po ninyo yun mga reaction? Narinig ninyo? Nako, napakalupit po nito. Tapusin po ninyo ito mga reaction.
Sandali lang
Napakaganda
po. Nandito si Ma'am Alma. Akong paminaw ang magkinasuhay pa na sila kay ligon kaayo ang council ni BP Sara. Unya, walay ebidensya nga gihawiran ang mga congressman. Okay. Pag makapa-impeach ang Kongreso kay Inday Sara, dadaan pa sila sa Senado. Ang real court for impeachment ay nandyan sa Senado. Diyan magagamit ang mga banggiitang abogado ni Inday Sara Duterte pagdating sa Senado. Tingnan natin, diyan na natin makita ang bloodbath, Ma'am Alma. Kasi ang bloodbath nun, hindi makita dito sa Kongreso dahil hindi na magsalita ang mga abogado. Sila-sila lang dyan sa loob. Pero pag dito na sa Kongreso, it's the latest of the court sa impeachment ay ang Senado. Okay? So si Ma'am Alma naman, bisan unsaon nila layog para ma-impeach si BP Sara, dili gyud nila kaya ligon kaayo ang council ni BP Sara. Magkasuhanay na sila sa higher court. Yun na nga. Yung mga congressman, magkasuhanay ka mo. Si Inday Sara ngayon hindi na palaban na talaga. Okay? So tuloy tayo po. Palaban na talaga ang maganda naming Inday Sara.
Ito?
This is a very, shameful things for
Shameful thing daw, shameful things daw po mga
That's
reaction.
correct.
Philippines, and also Philippines is recently considered as a terrorist supporting nation
Yes.
by Australia. This is totally, wrong, and this is created by the current administration. If Mr. Duterte is in power, then it won't happen. So everybody is scared, and Marcos is scared of Duterte, and the people are scared of going back home. So this is not a normal situation. This is a very, very, very bad circumstance.
Naku po.
So we need to, make it back or take the peace back in the country.
Fujiki-san, what makes it even more serious, is that there are a lot of serious issues against the ICC now. Recently, there was an expose by 18 former soldiers who were the bodyguards of the chair of the Appropriations Committee, and the expose involved the exchange of money with the ICC. No, in other words, they were wined and dined to the tune of $2 million. And one other issue, one other issue, Tsukiji, Fujiki, is that the ICC has already been infiltrated by the communist terrorist organization, the CPP-NPA-NDF, which is the 17th deadliest terrorist organization in the world, so that you can see very actively, you can see the face of one of their operatives, Cristina Conti, and the CPP-NPA-NDF has already, when the ICC members came to the Philippines, they met with the top leaders of this terrorist organization inside prison, and it was arranged by Bongbong Marcos, his administration. So the IC, therefore, what you did in the UN is very important, because the ICC is now being weaponized against the political foes, the political weapons of sovereign countries, and they take away our sovereignty. Fujiki, I loved it so much. We loved it so much when you spoke for us and you mentioned sovereignty. Could you please?
Yeah, that's right. It's violating sovereignty, definitely. Yes. Yeah. because the internal politics of Philippines have to be decided by the Filipino people, not the other force,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And
right.
they're, as you said,
Supposedly.
it's a weapon. Totally, they're weaponizing. And you see that President Trump of the United States,
Yeah.
he said he will he will not fund to that, and he will not accept anything, and there is no jurisdiction over the United States. And on the other hand, Putin, President Putin, also wanted 9 judges and prosecutors as a criminal, and
Yes.
he issued an arrest warrant. See, so this is not it's really illegitimate organization. And first of all, uh, I'm going to the United Nations all the time, right? And
Yes.
I bring the issues which is not cannot be solved within the country. Okay, so you have to bring it to the local court first of all. If anything happened, then you have to fight up to the Supreme Court. Even the Supreme Court, the bad decision, then you can bring it to the international body like ICC or Interpol or the United Nations. Right? This is a basic rule.
Yeah.
However, the Marcos administration broke this rule. There is
Yeah.
no court cases, hearings are done in Philippines, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that means Philippine court, no, ICC is superior than Philippine court,
Huh.
right? So that means
Yes.
there is no sovereignty on Philippines. So
Yeah.
Marcos abandoned his sovereignty by himself.
That's right.
This is what I think.
Fujiki, the first characteristic of a sovereign nation is the presence of a strong judiciary. So basically,
Exactly.
what Bongbong Marcos has admitted to the world as, is that there is no existing judiciary in our country that can try our own
Exactly.
citizens. It is such an insult
Yeah.
to this very strong
Insult and
judiciary.
it's a betrayal.
It's a
Betrayal of
Betrayal for the
public
whole
trust.
people. Yeah.
Correct. Fujiki, it is at the very heart of it. It is treason. It is a betrayal of the Filipino people. No, but
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Fujiki, my question to you is, why are you getting involved? You're not a Filipino. Why does this interest you? Why have you spoken up for us?
Just
Yeah.
a moment please, Ma'am Almo. Andam na ang duwan niya kaigsuon kung mahitabo. Madihado si Inday Sara. Reinforce si Pulong ug Basti Duterte. Andam sila muhulip pagka presidente kandidat. Yan ang mga taong matino ang pag-iisip. Hmm? Keep silent but always ready. Yan ang gusto ko. They keep on silent for what they are planning to, but they always ready to do. Andam gyud sila kay alangan naman gigipit nag-insakto si Inday Sara. We can't do otherwise. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. That's as I said. All of a sudden, the Filipino community in Japan is talking about, we don't want to go back to home country. So that is the worst things because normally, you want to go back because they're the worker working in Japan for their own country,
Yeah.
right? Or to take care of their own family in Philippines.
Yes.
This is a very hard things. Some women or a man, they are separated from the family in Philippines
Yeah.
and working in Japan for their for family, right? But that they say it's really fearful or it's really dangerous to going back home. So I was thinking, we have to do something because they are not proud of their country anymore
Yeah.
at this moment.
Yes.
So I
Very
listened
sad.
a lot of outcries, from the Filipino society in Japan. So I was thinking, what should I do? What can I do? And then, as I said, I'm regularly, 1 year time. Within the 1 year, I'm traveling here in Geneva at least 3 times to 6 times in a year to attend Human Rights Council meetings or treaty bodies meetings. So maybe I can bring it to the attention from the international society, because this should not be happen. And as I said, Bongbong Marcos is abandoned their own people, their own
Yeah,
judicial
that's
system,
right.
and then just surrendered to the ICC. Okay, so he's saying that what means is he's saying that he just wants to be a leader, but no responsibility. We don't do anything, right?
Yes,
Clean,
yes,
clean.
Fujiki.
Yes,
Bongbong Marcos did not run to serve the Filipino people. He ran to
I
steal.
understand.
Yeah, he ran to steal from the Filipino people and to stay longer in power than our constitution allows. Also,
As as
he
as his
escaped
father did.
as
Yeah,
his father did for
that's right.
over two
Mm-hmm.
decades. And
Right, right.
on top of that, Bongbong Marcos has a substance abuse disorder, a very
Mm,
serious
totoo
substance
yan.
Right,
abuse disorder. So he is
right,
not
right,
fit.
right,
He is not fit in any way to lead our country. And
right.
the way I see it, you're having spoken out in an international forum.
Mhm.
Internationalizing this issue is of great value because it really affects the entire world. If you
Yeah.
go to the ICC, you're not going to see Benjamin Netanyahu. You're not going to see Putin, right? You're going to
Different,
see
different.
leaders
Yeah,
of African nations and you're going
yeah,
to see Rodrigo Roa Duterte. In other words, there is a colonial bias. No, so
exactly. Yeah,
right, so
I agree.
it really has nothing to do with justice because they themselves have violated their own laws,
Yeah.
their own rules, the Rome Statute. They
Right, exactly.
violated
Right.
it. Now,
Yes, that's right.
very clearly, the former president didn't face a local court, and he wasn't
Right.
even given a copy of the warrant of arrest of the ICC. All of
Hmm.
this, and he was forcibly pushed inside the plane. No,
I
and
understand. As long as Marcos did not give the permission to their law enforcement, then
They will not get action for
Duterte
that.
was not arrested. Means Bongbong Marcos accepted or give the order to the authority to arrest him and hand it to the ICC.
Yes, of course.
Right?
Fujiki,
If there is no
Fujiki,
order, they will not move.
Fujiki-san, the ICC themselves said so. It was Bongbong Marcos, the Marcos administration
Oh,
that surrendered
right, right. Yeah,
an
that's true.
ordinary citizen
Hmm, hmm.
to them, and they had no choice because he was already there. So it was the Marcos administration that surrendered a Filipino. It's so serious. Fujiki-san, my question to you: would the Prime Minister of Japan, Sanae Takeuchi, would she do this? Would she surrender a Japanese citizen?
No, it will never
Foreign-
happen. Never happen.
It will
Never happen.
never happen, right? Why
Right,
is that?
right.
Why?
And because we are a sovereign nation, we have a judicial system.
정말 임플란트가 진짜 25만 원 맞나요? 네, 맞습니다. 25만 원에 임플란트를 해드리고 있습니다. 막상 치과 가면 달라지던데요? 그런 곳들이 있다고 하더라고요. 저희 치과는 그런 걱정 안 하셔도 됩니다. 저희는 임플란트에 지르코니아 크라운이랑 맞춤 지대주까지 모두 다 해서 25만 원에 해드려서 방문하셨을 때 가격이 달라지는 일은 없어요. 근데 왜 이렇게 가격이 낮은 건가요? 저희는 기공소를 원내에서 직접 운영하고 있어요. 그래서 보철물을 자체적으로 제작하기 때문에 저렴한 가격으로 혜택을 제공해드릴 수가 있어요. 아, 그렇구나. 근데 혹시 제품에 하자 있거나 시술을 대충 하는 건 아니겠죠? 에이, 절대 아니에요. 품질 좋은 국산 정품 임플란트로 시술해드리고요.
System, and the government have to protect their own people.
Yeah, that's right. It
This
should
would
be.
not have happened, right? Never.
No.
Fujiki-san, after having lived here for a year in Japan, because I am in exile, no,
Okay.
what I've noticed also, a lot of things will not happen in Japan. The theft of trillions, trillions upon trillions of yen by the Marcos administration will not happen here. It will not
Oh.
happen.
Right.
So anyway, what is the next step, Fujiki-san? What happens after this? What can the Filipinos expect after that speech? How
Well,
how was it accepted in the UN when you were there after your speech?
I tell you one thing. The worker at the United Nations should are not permitted to speak with us, okay?
Yeah.
As long as there is an authority, okay? But a couple of Filipino people came close to me and saying thank you and then leave, right?
Yeah.
So now that's the real reaction at the ground, even in the United Nations. So the workers at the United Nations from Philippines always appreciate me. This is not the first time. Actually, I brought issue a couple of, I think last year or before last year, right? About the Philippine attacked by China.
Yes.
Okay, so I brought that brief speech of the issue to in my speech, as along with the other issues. Just I mentioned the Philippines was attacked by the China, and then again some of the workers came and saying that thank you, then they leave. Means they cannot talk, but that they just want to express their appreciation, right? So I found that they are in trouble, really real trouble.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought that I need to do something, and then this is the first time that I brought mainly for this Philippine issue. That was not the main, but in the context of the Chinese aggression at the time. But for the
Fujiki-san, you told me a story before we started. You told me about your computer had a glitch. Could you run us by that? Because I'm really surprised because you pulled it off really well. So maybe you can tell our listeners what happened.
Okay. Well, while I had a script to talk, which I made. And normally I open up my computer and based on that, I start speaking it, right? However, in the middle of my speech, okay, intervention, my computer flows. That's not happening in before or after, okay? Even after that, I had two intervention about the Pakistan issue and so on, okay? I'm not only handling the Philippine issue, but some minority people in the Pakistan called the Balochistan. Okay, so they are really suppressed by the government and they are killed by the government. So I cannot accept these activities by the government, who has a superpower over their own people. So, and then my computer or software flows. So I was, if you see the video that I posted, it looks somehow it's natural, okay? But if you see the recording from the United Nations, I cut the blank, but there are some blank praise because I was struggling to put the computer back on work. So that's happened. This is a serious problem I have, but I thought that I need to finish the speech. Otherwise, there is no more chance at the time. So I said to myself, calm down to myself. and then I finished talking. Yeah.
Fujiki-san, you delivered it really well.
Thank you very much.
It reminds me of the Goethe quote. He said, "Be bold, and mighty forces shall come to your aid." So you delivered it really well. The very important points came out. No? So
but in the future, even in the future, whatever I can do to get to tell the back.
Hello po, Sir Gamora. Na-late ako, Ma'am Ilin. I know, it's all right. Better late than never, Sir Gamora. Welcome to our live. Magandang hapon po.
To home. This is
Pakinggan
totally
muna natin his reaction
inhumane
video tayo.
things, separated from the family. And they are blaming, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, there is a Filipino NGO who are having a side event in the United Nations building, okay? So I just paid visit there, and then I was listening to what they have to say. And they are saying, we are victimized by Duterte because my elder brother was killed by the Duterte administration and so on and so on. So I questioned, why your brother was killed, right? And the Duterte made a rehabilitation center or something like that to rehabilitate these drug addicts. And he gave them a couple of chances to rehabilitate it, but still they keep on using the drugs, okay? And that's the consequence they have to face. And to make the other people, not to harm the other people, other citizens, majority of the citizens, right? And then I questioned them why. Then they said, my elder brother was killed because of the drug and so on. So I said, who violated? First of all, who violated the law or the law?
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yes.
you are now trying to be a victim, but actually, basically, your brother was the offender to the other people.
Yes.
So you have to consider, don't be, it's kind of hypocrisy of these people. But,
So
I cannot accept it. As long as your brother did not use the drug, then it didn't happen, right? So you have to think, and you have to apologize to the country that my brother was using illegal drug, so-called illegal drug, right? But they don't feel that way. Oh, my brother was murdered and so on by the Tutulong administration. This is wrong,
because
and also there are some criticisms from the other countries, okay?
Yeah.
Because with that trial, there's some were shot. But if you see the United States, for example, look, they are not bringing the criminal to the justice. They just shoot at the site, right? So it's the same thing. Because in order to protect the majority, sometimes it's happened, and they are the criminals violating the law. So in order to protect the majority or citizen or countryman, then there should be some strong force over the criminals to crack down.
it seems like because PRRD, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, was a man of the law. So if you don't follow
Yeah.
the law, there are consequences, as it ought to be, But in other countries, my opinion is that, because I go to the US back and forth, no, it's so heartbreaking to see Skid Row, where you see children, drug addicts, their lives
Right,
wasting
exactly.
away. And my opinion there is that the government has failed them, because they can buy drugs, they can shoot
Right.
drugs in front of a police, and
Yeah.
nothing's done. There are no arrests,
Right,
there are no
exactly. Yeah,
rehabilitations,
yeah.
nothing. No, so
Yeah.
and what the enemies of PRRD refuse to discuss are the victims of these drug addicts and these drug
Yeah.
lords and these drug syndicates. As a doctor, I can tell you, Fujiki-san, the emergency room before PRRD became president was a bloodbath.
Oh.
When a drug addict stabs a baby, it's not just one stab; it's 64 stabs. And they don't want to talk about those things because they have a political agenda against PRRD.
Yeah.
No? My question to you, Fujiki-san, is
Yeah.
why is it that Japan doesn't have that kind of problem, not in the magnitude that we've seen in other countries?
That's a good question. Actually it's morality or ethics in the countries, and most importantly, education. So
Fujiki, I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to interrupt because I always ask this question to a lot of my Japanese friends. Why are the Japanese so different? Why are they very moral? No, and it's really the upbringing, the culture, the Bushido, the Buddhism, and Shintoism.
Ay. So, mga kapatid ko, yan ang nakikita natin dito. Itong buti na lang mayroong isang Japanese na human advocates na nagpunta sa UN. Si Shunichi Pojiki. Maganda, magaling. Sana tuloy-tuloy na itong tulungan nila. Si Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, iuwi man lang sa Pilipinas, mga kapatid ko. Okay, so tuloy tayo.
And
티샷부터 2배 다르게 듀얼 카본의 강렬한 맛 핑 최대 관용성의
the ministers is their humility.
Yes, some
They're very
Right.
and of course their
Sir
honor.
Gamor, thank you,
Their
Japan.
integrity.
Totoo yan,
So my
sir.
question to
Thank
you,
you po.
Fujiki-san, is what will happen if one of your leaders was caught stealing, the way Marcos has been caught stealing?
in that case, we will be our government will use the full force to take them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
You mean to say Fujiki-san, because right now in the Philippines, the senators there, Ping Lacson and Tito Soto and the entire government is being used to cover up for Marcos.
okay.
So, will that happen in Japan? A cover up of,
No, no, it won't happen.
It's impossible.
Technically, no possible. It's not possible. Corruption. We don't have much corruption. Although, there are little corruptions going on. But once we find it, then they will be seriously punished in Japanese society. Okay? So mostly corruption is not going on. And also, one thing that I have to say, Philippines is a very wealthy nation, basically.
Yes.
Because we have an abundant supply of the minerals,
Yes.
right? Minerals and also natural resources rich.
Yes.
If compared to Japan, we don't have any.
Yeah.
We all rely on the import, oils and gas and minerals, everything. Okay, so we really envy you. However,
no.
the reason why your government or your country is like this situation is because the corruption, only the corruption,
Yes.
right? You used to be a very wealthy and also a very hardworking people, and we have so many common with Japanese and Filipinos, very common a way of thinking, and also you are Christian nation, right? So at least the morality or ethics or learn from the the Christians, like even a Catholic or a Protestant, it doesn't matter. The moral standard, the bottom line of the moral standard. So you are very much educated, right? Philippine people are very much educated, yet they cannot get any good return because they're not protected by the government.
Yeah,
but while
that's
the
correct.
Duterte administration, Duterte was trying to make a lot of shelters to
Filipino.
put those homeless people or poor people to have a better life, and that's what he did. And our Abe, Prime Minister Abe was the only world leader invited to his home. And if we see his home, it's not like a palace. It's just like a
Ordinary
normal home, right?
Yeah,
But
correct.
yeah, he gave he invited Abe that is very heartwarmed things that we appreciated President Duterte, and yeah.
Yeah, Fujiki-san. So I want to go back to the question of corruption in government, because what we have been exposed to in the Marcos administration is nothing short of shocking. Really shocking. The depth and what I noticed about the Japanese people is your capacity to feel shame.
Oh yeah, that's
And
true.
what I see now with the ones who are seated in power in this Marcos administration is their total and complete incapacity to feel shame. And I read somewhere, and I agree, that the capacity to feel shame presumes an ounce of nobility, some nobility in you. So if you don't have any nobility, you will not have any capacity for shame.
Right.
So
Yeah,
this is
agree.
what really amazes me living here in Japan, is that it's so consistent. We in the Philippines, because in the Philippines, Fujiki-san, it's become normal to criticize people in government as being corrupt, and it is true. It is true. But Filipinos, ordinary citizens, are also corrupt. Otherwise, I believe that your leaders are a reflection of who you are. So I don't want to waste this opportunity that has cost us so much pain of
Oh
having
yeah.
the worst example of a human being to lead us. I think that it is a reflection of who we are as a people.
Right.
What amazes me about the Japanese people is the Japanese society is that it is not money driven.
Yeah, but every country man and woman need to try to make the country better. Okay.
Yes.
For example, in the case of Philippines, for example, if you are caught or by police by overspeeding, okay, So normally we get a ticket, whatever the situation is, we get a ticket and we have to pay the penalty,
Yeah.
right? And we cannot give any money to the police officer, right?
Yes,
But
right.
in Philippine, you can just hand over their money to the officer. Then the officer closes their eyes,
Yeah.
and then children are watching it. My parents are paying the money, while overspeeding, and then that's it, right? So this is a kind of education to the kids, and when the kids becomes adult, again, the kids do the same. So you have to stop that kind of habit to a certain point, right? Because bribery is the worst things, and your wealthy country became, corrupt country right now. So I feel really bad. So education is the most important things. Even you started right now, it's going to affect after 20 years, 30 years. But if you don't start it now, then it will not happen in the future.
So, Fujiki-san, may I please go back to the speech in the UN? Okay.
Oh, okay.
How
Yep.
did it happen? How did it happen that you could speak there? And why?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I've been participating to the United Nations Human Rights Council as well as the treaty bodies meeting. Because Japan was attacked by China and Koreans and North Koreans and so on in the historical issues, which actually it not happened according to my investigation, but they are using United Nations as a weapon and tool to attack Japan. So I was thinking, what's going to happen? Then I traveled to the United States National Archive to see their, the documents during the World War II. And like a comfort women issue, okay? There is it, and some people left the comment, and this guy is a comfort women denier. I'm not denying the comfort women, okay? They are existing. I did not deny the existence of the comfort women. And at that time, if you see their past things by current eyes, then so many weird things happen, right? So there are comfort women existing. However, they are not a sex slave. They are well-paid prostitute, even from the National Archive official document from the United States. But they changed the narrative to attack Japan so that they use the slave with the word slave. Okay, so in that case, in United Nations, we have white guys, black guys. They are very sensitive about the word slave. Okay,
Yes.
so they that's why they took it very seriously.
Yeah.
So, and then what happened with that the Duterte term? Okay, when the Duterte was in the office, there was a comfort woman statue elected in part of the Manila. Okay, and Prime Minister Abe requested this is not accurate. What is mentioned on the plaques is not accurate. They are not the sex slave. They are sex workers. Okay, well-paid sex workers. So please remove it. So, and the Duterte said one day in the night time that was removed by somebody. And then the reason was, there is we have to do some construction on the gas. So this is what the President Duterte did. And, we applauded President Duterte because he did the right thing, right? And then also, then
Fujiki-san,
I was, yeah.
may I interrupt about that issue, the comfort women issue?
Mhm.
This is where the CPP, NPA, NDF, the terrorist organization, has a front. It's called Gabriela. Gabriela is a
Gabriela.
front of the terrorist organization, and they radicalized the youth so that they
Yeah.
can recruit them into the armed conflict. So this
I
is one
see.
of their issues. This is one of the issues that they brought out, and they really agitated the youth so much so that they could recruit and so that they could raise funds, and they were able to. There were some reparations made, but when it was time they got the funds, but they did not give it to the supposed victims that they used.
Yeah, exactly.
They are the very ones behind the extraordinary rendition of PRRD, using the war on drugs, even making stories up. It's the same pattern. It's the same pattern. When I was working in the government, I also had to go to the UN. I spoke there about the CPP, NPA, NDF, and we saw with our very own eyes the propaganda that there was 27,000 EJKs deaths by the war on drugs. But now look, they're now in the Hague, and they can't even come up with 50. Okay, so they hyperinflate, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing that they've done to this issue. Like you said, no, we're not denying that it happened, but they definitely lied about a lot of things to
Exactly,
inflame,
yeah.
so that they could recruit, and then so that they could get some funds, because this
Yeah.
organization is one of the biggest criminal syndicates in the world.
Okay.
And they are also, Fujiki-san, they are also inside the United Nations. They sit
Right,
there
yeah.
and they represent the Philippines, and then they say all sorts of lies about the Philippine government, so that they can recruit, and they can. But the sad thing is, no, the sad thing is the United Nations believes them.
한두 개쯤은 가능하겠지만 모든 면에서 정점에 오를 수 있는 건 오직 너보다
No, because they've been,
Yeah, yeah,
because the deception is so complete, because they've been taking care of this relationship for a very long time. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah, yeah. That's because of it's a weak point of the United Nations. They hires their so-called special rapporteur, means special
Yes.
reporter for United Nations, but that is appointed individually, not in a group of people. Okay, so if you bribe these people, then they will write something, whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
So this is happening, and then committee members or the council members, they are changing all of the every 2 years, 3 years, right? So if somebody's bringing the comfort women issue, then they will bring back to the old document and saying that this is a sex slave, or they were tortured by the Japanese military and so on, right? So even after so many years, their narratives doesn't change because of this old document that they created,
Yeah.
purposely created,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and then after that, yes, so what you said is really right, and you know that the mechanism of the United Nations. So I totally agree what you're saying, and after that, I found so many issues which is not the past issue. Comfort woman issue is happening during the war, right? World War
Yeah,
II,
that's it.
up to 1945. But there are so many, like CPP, there are so many people involved in the United Nations much prior that we start going there. Since 40 years ago, Japanese left-wingers or Koreans and Chinese, certain part of the, those forces were in the United Nations, and they have office close to the United Nations too, to make a lobbying, right?
Yes, yes.
So who is supporting this money, right? I'm coming to the United Nations by my own expense,
Yeah.
Yes.
own expense. Okay, of course I have some small supporters, so they are supporting, but not much amount. However, because of the justice have to be maintained. That's the reason why I start coming and keep on coming here over 12 years right now, right? By my own expense, and especially at this time,
Therefore, Fujiki-san, what you're saying is, no, it's of great value that your voice is heard, that you're there, because otherwise
Thank you.
there won't be any counter narratives. Because
exactly, yeah.
a lot of people that go there, for instance, the CPP, NPA, NDF, a terrorist organization, is deeply invested in sitting there so that it legitimizes all their lies, right? So, and where do they get their funding, right? What you're
Right,
saying.
right. Yeah, okay, I will tell you one thing, okay? Yesterday we had a side event in the United Nations, right? We had a behold event. And about the Okinawa issue. Okinawa is island, southern West Island.
Yes.
And now the certain group of people are trying to put Okinawa into the decolonization list. So they now saying that Okinawa is the colony of Japan.
Oh,
So we brought there is formerly they are called Ryukyu Kingdom. So there was a king, okay? So, and then their narrative is that Japan was forcefully annexed or conquered the Ryukyu. So we took the descendant of the king at this time, the attorney of the king,
Yes.
as well as their local assembly members and the pastor of the Christian church, leader of the pastors, and to counter them. And then while we are having a Saturday event, there is one Chinese lady in the room. Okay, definitely she's part of the Chinese government. Each time when I hold the Saturday event, there is definitely Chinese monitoring it, and sometimes they question us. All right, so we witnessed it, and there definitely we before we saw she opened the computer, and she has a kind of a chat up app, okay, chatting with somebody, and she's reporting who talked, what, okay, that's what happened. And also whenever I comes to Geneva, I need to stop over one place, okay, it means I have to transfer. And each time when I go through the immigration, I'm stopped and brought to the interrogation room for about 15 minutes every time. The reason is because on year of 2020, Xi Jinping of China was was asking the Japanese government to invite him as a state guest, right? And so I totally leave. Abe was in Abe administration at that time, and then I got the information that Xi Jinping will coming to Japan as a state guest. So I made a speech as I did it today, the 11th of March. We Japanese are not welcome to having Xi Jinping as a state guest. If he can freely come to Japan without any trouble and to discuss with the government. However, state guest meaning is different. He's going to see the emperor of Japan and shake hand with the emperor. So I said, this bloodthirsty hand should not be touched to our emperor, because they are murdering, taking, they are harvesting the internal organ of the Falun Gong practitioners or Uyghurs and Tibet and so on. Okay, this is a human rights violation, typical human rights violation committed by the Chinese government. So nobody wants, the Japanese don't want to come, the Xi Jinping to have a state guest. All right. So after I spoke it started. Okay. And I asked my government, well, how it's happened. Then maybe China is registered you as a criminal, or not a wanted person, but investigate a little more further. Okay. So I told the government, can you nullify it? And the government said no, because if the other way around, for example, Japanese wants to have a Chinese to be investigated, and if the Chinese government can nullify it, then nothing, this is meaningless. So we cannot do. And then I asked the security officer in Amsterdam how it's happened, and then he said this is not the request from the Dutch government, but the foreign government. Okay. And then he explained to me that it will be continued. When will it be end? Then he said it will be continued for a year, because this validity is for a year. But if this country who reported is renewed again, then you will be on the list forever. So I'm on the list, and I'm always interrogated. So I need to show my badge to accredited badge, ECOSOC badge to the officer, and also I present the documents and what I'm doing, right? So this is an intimidation. Also, this is also crime against humanity. They are violating the human rights of me. But we have to stand strong, and I don't care even. And one day, I'm in an apartment right now. Okay, I rent an apartment, but in a couple of years ago, I rented another apartment, and then there is after I rent the place, somebody broke into the house and then put the 3 surveillance camera, very small one, into my room. Okay, then I have a very good friend here who is he's a kind of intelligent person. Okay, working for the intelligence. And in a Sunday, I invited him to my apartment. And then first thing that he said is, Shun, don't you feel very weird? Because there are 3 clocks, which is exactly same model. One is in the kitchen, two is in a different angle at the living room. So I didn't think anything wrong, but yes, after he told me that, oh my gosh, this is a three. Normally we don't buy the same clock. Each room has a different clock, right? Then I found there is a digital clock like this shape, and then I turn it over. There is a SD card in it, right? So everything's recorded. Then I brought it to the police in Geneva police, and then the criminal was arrested. So this is happening around me, right? So always intimidated.
Fujiki, this is the life that you've chosen. So right
Yeah,
now,
that's right.
there are already reports by the Marcos trolls that your speech in the UN never happened. No,
Yeah, generated. Yeah, and the AI. Actually, you're talking to the AI, okay? Generated guy,
They said that
Android.
so I'd like you to clarify, because they're claiming that there is no official UN record. Is this true? Or
There is those
is.
people must be really ignorant. For example, if you go to the if you go to the UNTV, for example, okay,
Oh.
just type UNTV, and there is a search box. Just type my name. So many videos that I spoke at the United Nations just come up, right? So they must be
Yeah, no.
stupid and ignorant.
Yes. The market is really stupid people, diba? It's not. That's the audience.
And
And number two, yeah.
I found very amusing is that the person who is supporting Duterte is writing in Japanese or English, okay, and the anti-Duterte people are always writing in Tagalog. That's it. I can see the difference.
One other thing, the other claim is that there is no verified identity of Shunichi Fujiki. So
No, but
maybe you need to
I'm not
say hello to
existing.
them.
I'm not existing, right? Okay.
It's a phone. So this is the world. This is the life that you've chosen, Fujiki.
Yeah, that's right.
And,
Yeah, I'm okay. This is my accredited card for United Nations, right?
yeah.
This one. So without this, we cannot get in, first of all, and
Yeah.
without permission, we cannot talk, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
So,
so this is
Fujiki-
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Fujiki, we're about to wrap up, no? But
Okay.
before we wrap up, I would like to say, in behalf of the Filipino people, thank you, no? And I think in behalf of humanity, thank you for speaking up for us, no? Thank you
You're very welcome.
for a president, maybe the only Filipino president who never stole from us and who served us really well.
Yeah, that's
Highly
true.
beloved, highly
Right.
beloved Filipino people, and he doesn't deserve what he's getting right now. No? So
Exactly.
on behalf
But
of
he
the
put
Filipino-
his
yeah, go
he
ahead.
put his life on the line to renew the country. Okay, so he's a brave man, and he knows the consequences from the beginning. But he's a real man, and he's trying to protect and dedicate it whole Filipino people. So
You know
this
what?
is a brave man.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what,
I
Fujiki-san, no? I worked
Yeah.
with him. So he would have speeches where he would say, when I step down, they're going to come after me. But he said, but I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
do what
okay.
I need to do.
So mga kapatid
he
ko,
is
sandali
everyone.
lang. So that is the Japanese human rights advocate nga nagsasalita doon sa UN. Tapos ipinagdi-deny naman sa mga trolls ng administration na ito na AI di umano or hindi daw nag-advocate sa UN. Mga gunggong yun talaga na sila, hindi natin sila pansinin. Okay, patuloy po tayo dito. Okay.
비정질 금속이 만드는 반발력의 차이로 새로운 차원의 골프를 경험하다. 비정질 샤프트의 정확한 방향성과 비거리로 맞이하는 최전성기. 비거리로 다 이겼어. 다이너스.
저축에서 투자로 당신의 선택이 모이고 장기 수익률이 쌓여
Ramdaman, detached, out of this world ang kanyang komentaryo, ang sabi ng mga netizens, at nagagalit ang mga mamamayan sa ganung uri ng kawalang damdamin na pahayag sa gitna ng nakaambang at nararamdaman na, in fact, na krisis ng ating mga kababayan, Ma'am Lorraine. Kaninang umaga, pumalo na po sa 102 pesos per liter ang
Nako.
diesel at ang gasolina ay mahigit na po 91 pesos. O mayroon pang 92 pesos per liter. At ito ay patuloy na dumadaus-dus ang ating kalagayan habang lumalawak ang krisis na ito. Ma'am, normal ang lahat. Baliwala lang sa kanya.
Eric, i-quote ko siya ha. I-quote ko kung ano yung sinabi ni Bongbong
sige, ma'am, go.
Marcos. So sabi niya, right now, we don't have a problem.
Okay po. So, yun lang po ang gusto kong mapapakinggan sa inyo. Yung pag-usap-usap ni Dr. Lorin Badoy kay Sunichi Pojiki patungkol sa speech niya doon sa UN at saka dito naman sa pag-speech ni Marcos Jr. na wala tayong problema, wala daw nothing to worry, there's no problem, normal pa rin tayo. Pero normal na tayo, pero 102 na ang litro ng presyo sa gasolina ngayon. So normal lang tayo kahit mali-malitang pera ang nawala sa kaban ng bayan, normal lang. Wala pa ring investigation. Normal lang sa kanya. Kahit pa nahirapan na tayo, magtipid tayo sa Palacio de Polvoron, nagparty-party in grande. Normal lang. Wala tayong dapat ikakalungkot, normal lang. Pag ganyan ang tao, what do you call that? Shrinking mentality, mga kapatid ko. Kaya kahit pa anong gagawin natin, wala tayong magagawa. Kung pag ganun man lang ang Pangulo natin, walang future ang Pilipinas. Yun lang, mga kapatid ko. Maraming salamat po. God bless you po. Bye-bye everyone. See you on the second episode of our live streaming, mga kapatid ko. At before I will have to go, please do your like naman, like, share, and sa mga bago, mag-subscribe naman kayo. Kahit konti lang tayo ngayon, pero pag may mag-subscribe, mag-like and share dyan, maligaya na ako dyan. Yun lang ang kaligayahan ko. Mababaw lang kaligayahan ko dyan. Okay, maraming salamat po. God bless you everyone. Bye-bye.